Oh, hey there. Hey, you, what up? It is Faves X Fails time on the channel for September, October. What month are we in? November. We are already in November, and this is the video in which I talk about all of my favorite products, slap them onto the face to create a look. This one right here, and also talk about all of my fails. As always, I come prepared. I come with notes. This is a video that I love to film. I always hope that you guys come out a little bit more educated about products. I hope you learn. I hope you find these types of videos entertaining and useful. And so this is my attitude for this video. I'm just having a good time and I want to share it with you guys. So with that, let's get to our Faves X Fails for fall. Let's go. Subscribe. Quick flash of my list because I come prepared. And the first product that I want to talk to you guys about is in the faves category, and it is actually a skincare product. And I typically never do this. I don't like to talk about skincare. I feel like it is extremely personal. So it's hard for me to even take skincare recommendations from people, even when they have a similar skin type to mine. It just never ever works for me. I feel like my skin is finicky, but this one product is my fave, and I think it might be a lot of people's faves because it's just one of those that I think will work for a lot of skin types. I'm talking about this Glow Recipe Prickly Pear Peptide Mucin. First of all, I love any sort of skincare product with peptides. I feel like it just does a lot for the skin. It's basically giving some nourishment, some vitamins, some like much needed hydration and all the good stuff that your skin needs. But because this is a mucin and it actually kind of mimics snail mucin, it gives your skin that immediate gratification. You can see instant results, and I love this product so much. I didn't even know what it was, and I was using the lab sample for the longest. I think I was talking about this product on the channel. I told you it's in the mucin category. I actually thought it was snail mucin because look, it definitely does that. Very slippery and slimy, but the way that it just perfects your skin surface, it gives it everything the skin needs to be balanced. And especially, it is one of my favorite things to wear under makeup. It just has the most perfecting sort of finish to it. Of course, I'm going to link it down below for you guys. And if you have tried it and you know what I'm talking about, sound off. I can't be the only one who is obsessed with this. Like, I'm still using my lab sample and I have so little left. So finally, when this one came out, I was like, wait, this isn't snail. This is actually prickly pear. Pleasantly surprised. Anyway, this dries down very quickly. Works on me because I'm oily, and typically I like to do my skincare 45 minutes to an hour before I apply my makeup. But with this one, I don't have to. It is, like I said, instant gratification. So enough about that. But do you guys see it? There's a glow. My skin looks quenched. It just looks brighter, like more lifted, everything. Just the best. The next category that I want to talk about is not actually a primer. It's in the face glow category. And of course, my favorite face glow product this month is from my collab collection with PIXI. It is my all over gloss for the face that you could use in the high points of your face, on the lids, wherever you want to glow. But this is my favorite because it is a unique formula. It's a unique formula for PIXI. This is supposed to give you a glassy type of skin finish, but it dries down to a non-sticky finish. So you could wear your hair down or up, whatever you want. It is just the best. I'm so obsessed with this product. I use it all the time, under foundation, over foundation. I mean, the glow is just undeniable. The glassiness, the pearlescence, the reflect, it is so rich. This is a $14 product, links below, if you purchase it by itself, or you can get it in the Dreamy Lip Kit for $18. And it also comes with a Siesta Peach lip color that you could also use on the cheeks. I will be using it on the cheeks. So this is my favorite for the month because, well, I put a lot of love into this product. I really wanted to make sure that the shade is right, that it works for every single skin tone. It is just so beautiful. It brings out the most stunning glow on your face. Obviously, you could wear it on your collarbone, on your chest. I showed it in my PIXI x Maryam announcement video. So if you guys haven't seen that one, I will link that as well. And up here somewhere too. Anyways, let me go ahead and finish the other side. I even like to apply some on the nose, even on the jawline, wherever you want to glow. It is so forgiving. It won't emphasize texture. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, Bella Hadid. And of course, obviously, it doesn't have to be the first step to your routine. It could be the last step. You can apply it as a highlighter at the end. But if you want that little bit of a glow from within, I like to apply it first. Next, I want to talk about foundations and skin tints. I tried a lot of products in that category over the last couple of months or so. And I gotta say, there's really only one that stands out for me. I tried many were just not meant for my skin type. A lot of them had coconut derivatives, which is not for acne prone prone skin, not for oily skin. It would make me break out. So the one that I've been sticking to and wearing the most in the last couple of months has been the Pure 4-in-1 Skin Tint. This one right here. This has high SPF 50, mineral sunscreen, okay? Also acne safe, reef safe, all of those good things. This actually has incredible coverage. It looks super lightweight, very, very skin-like. The shade range is quite decent. They don't have every single shade like the way that the Pure 4-in-1 foundation does, but still, they got the main shades covered, mostly neutral, so they can kind of lean either warm or cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply. TN7 is what I was using in the summertime. TN2 is what I'm using now. Like, come on, look at that. Don't sleep on Pure products. They have been making excellent mineral makeup for so long. And this one, I have to say, might be one of their best launches. Did you see how well that skin tint covered? You guys are gonna ask me about the brush. This is a Bare Minerals brush, speaking of mineral makeup, but I use it for liquids, not necessarily powders. I'm sorry. Look how glassy and glowy that skin is. Just too good. Just way too good. Anyways, I don't want to like trash all the other foundations and skin tints that I've tried because I can't say that they're actually bad. In fact, some of them that I didn't love as much as this, I kept, like the NATASHA DENONA High Glam Foundation. I liked it. I didn't love it. I didn't find it to have as much lasting power as, say, this. But this is probably due to the fact that this does not have mineral sunscreen and it is a serum-based foundation. So this is probably better on someone who's a little bit drier, perhaps even mature skin that's on the drier side. This would look great, but on me, it was just okay. But even okay is something that I can put to use. So I kept it naturally because it's not a bad product. Similarly with the Lisa Eldridge Skin Tint, I liked it. It looked gorgeous, but the coconut derivatives in that just made me scared. It made me a little bit wary. Same with the new reformulated Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Why did they reformulate it? I don't know. There's coconut derivatives in it. I'm afraid that it's going to make me break out. So I just have not been reaching for those, but they did look very nice on the skin when I tested them. So that's why I'm mentioning them. They're not fails by no means, but they're not exactly faves for me. Moving on. I'm so chatty today, you guys. I've been waiting to film this video. I love filming Faves X Fails. It's my favorite freaking video to do for you guys. I have a lot of opinions. I think you know that. And so it's my opportunity to share it, you know? All right. For concealer, I did try just a couple, and both of them were fairly recently. One that I loved was the LYS new concealer that I'm going to say off the bat, I don't love this applicator. I don't like a sponge tip. To me, it's not very makeup artist friendly. It's just a little messy. You can never really know how much product comes out. But what's cool about this is that you could remove the sponge applicator, and then it has this like needle nose little tip. And it comes out the same way, basically. You just twist it and it disperses the product. But still, I feel like it's just a little bit wasteful and it's like hard to tell how much product you're actually dispersing. But the product itself, I will say, is very, very nice. It is very, very full coverage. You see that? However, the texture and the finish is light on the skin. So although a little bit goes a long way, I definitely did not need this much product. You can absolutely sheer it out and you can make it look invisible but bright. So that's what I like about it. Obviously, this shade is very bright, so I'm not going to use it all over my face. I'm just going to blend this out. Perhaps I need a sponge to pick up a little bit. Do you see what I mean? Just like a couple of little pats and it looks virtually undetectable, but it still leaves you with a lot of brightness. I think the formula is really good here. It wears really well. I did actually wear it to my PIXI launch party here in New York City. And it was reliable, which is why I'm even bringing it up. And speaking of the launch party, if you guys are not following me on the gram, that is where I post all of my current events, all of my happenings, everything that I'm doing kind of in real time or as best as I can, considering safety and all. Let me tell you, our launch party was so much fun. We had dancers, okay? We had entertainment. We had all of my friends, even some of my fam, friends in the industry, just so many people in attendance. We had a photographer, we had drinks, we had tacos. I mean, it was a fiesta to say the least. And so I'm kind of still on this like cloud 9 over our launch party. It was just so much fun and the vibes were great. And my birthday was the next day. So we all went out. We got really crazy as if we were like 21 years old. And you know what? It was needed. It was needed. It was necessary. And I'm just like so grateful to everyone who came out, who brought their great energy. It was just so fun. Okay, look at how bright she is. All right, so for the rest of my face, I'm just going to use my DANESSA MYRICKS Yummy Skin Lift and Flex Concealer just for like a couple of spots that I have here. And they're honestly really minuscule, but they are a little bit red. So I'm just going to disguise them ever so slightly. Also at my launch party, I had to give a speech. And I don't know, most people are probably not comfortable with speaking in front of like 50 or more people. Me, on the other hand, it is like my favorite thing to do. I don't know what it is. Every time I see like a medium to large size group, I just want to get on the mic and talk. It is my thing. I think it's because I took a couple of communications courses and a couple of public speaking courses in college, and it completely just wiped away any sort of stage fright that I ever had. Not that I did, but I think it made me like a little bit better, and it just made me look forward to getting my point across and really just connecting with everyone who's in the room. So I don't know if you needed to know that, but I just felt like maybe you can relate. Maybe if you have some sort of stage fright, I think of it this way. Speaking publicly is your opportunity to connect, you know? And I feel like I'm even better at public speaking than probably speaking in front of the camera. So now that I've done concealer, I should probably mention that Makeup Forever concealer I recently tried. Pop. And did not love. Yeah, that one, as much as I wanted to love the new HD Skin Concealer from Makeup Forever, because Makeup Forever is such a name in the industry, it is so respected, I really was trying to give it a fair chance, but unfortunately, it was one of those products that just did not work for my skin type. It didn't work for my texture, it didn't work for my bumps. At that time, I had a significant amount of bumps here on my chin and jawline, on my cheeks, and it was just making me feel so damn insecure. I rewatched that video after, and I just remember seeing my energy kind of shrink and diminish after I put that product on. So that to me is a fail. That is like the quintessential failed product. If it lowers my self-esteem, if it makes me look visibly more uncomfortable in front of the camera, that's how I know that product is not for me. That's how I know it's not working. So obviously I got rid of it, but I just had to let you know. A fail is a fail. All right, moving on to blush. For the blush, obviously, I'm going to use my Siesta Peach on one side and another blush that I also like this month on the other side. I'm going to swipe this on kind of generously. I'm going to use my Mario brush, pound that in. Notice how I'm applying that right under the highlighter. They just work together so beautifully, these formulas. And a lot of people have been asking me what makes this formula so special that it can dry down to a non-transferable matte liquid lip, but also work as such a natural, almost dewy blush. And that's because the formula is a unique souffle formula. So yes, it does dry down, but not in the way that those 2016 liquid lipsticks dry down. It doesn't make your lips tight and crackly and super, super dry. This, like I said, is a souffle, very flexible, almost a skincare-like formula. It is absolutely safe to use on your skin, which is why I always reach for it. And this shade is so, so flattering. It is like my perfect blush. So Siesta Peach is a fave this month. On the other side, my other fave for the month is this Too Faced Cloud Crush Whipped Lip Cheek Color. I believe these formulas are actually quite similar. And these shades, I have to say, are also kind of similar, but the Too Faced, you definitely wouldn't be able to wear on your lips because it simply won't stay. So this shade here is Peach Blur, which is more of like a true peachy color. And my Siesta Peach is more like a peachy nude. So it's a nude that definitely leans warmer, but not as peachy as, say, a true peach. All right, so now before I set my face, I have to talk to you guys about my new favorite setting spray. It is supreme, it is elite, it is absolutely divine, and there's nothing like it out there. I'm giving it to DANESSA MYRICKS. From the Yummy Skin line, we have the Liquid Blurring Balm. This is a setting spray that actually doubles as powder. You can use it instead of powder, in fact. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shake it up. I'm gonna spray it all over my face. And what you can do for like a little bit of lasting power is you can go ahead and press back your blush and also your foundation, just like that. And that will lock it in place. It is so, so good. Immediately you can tell that I'm still very glowy and very natural, but I'm no longer sticky. And the lasting power that it gives it because of that Opsalite is just magic. There's nothing else like it. Ooh, I just noticed I might have accidentally removed some of my concealer. Let me add that back on. There we go. On the other hand, I also tried the Laura Mercier Translucent Hydrating Setting Spray that's supposed to be ultra blurring, but my comment here in my notes is actually from our swatch model. I remember testing this in a video and asking him at the end what he thought about my makeup. He told me that my skin looked like it had plastic, like plastic on the sofa. And I think he said that in reference to just like the overall glow that I had on my face. I didn't particularly really like that description. I feel like he was trying to insinuate that there's something about my face that looks plastic and unnatural. Perhaps, I don't know if he meant it this way, but perhaps he was even suggesting that it was looking a little cheapy cheap. So I attribute it to this spray that definitely changed the look and feel of my foundation. I wouldn't call it ultra blurring, definitely hydrating, but hydrating in like an oily looking kind of way. So although I decided to keep this one because I just couldn't believe it. Plastic on the sofa is really harsh. I just couldn't believe it. And I kind of like a plastic on the sofa look on my cheekbones, just not all over my face. So what I started doing is just spraying it kind of in the perimeter of my face, literally away from everything else. Like I will hide the center of my face and then I'll spray it around, avoiding the forehead, of course. And that way it kind of works. Otherwise, it definitely just looks a little bit unnatural, just a little bit too glossy, but not in a glossy way, in a greasy way. So not like an epic fail, but like a fail with a small f, you know? Okay, we got a lot of fails this month. I mean, none of them are really crazy or epic, well, with the exception of a few coming up, but yeah, there was definitely some trial and error here. All right, moving on to powder. I have a lot of powders that I tried, some that I really liked. I liked the new Huda Beauty Easy Bake Duo in Cherry Peach. So there are 2 shades altogether in these duos. Basically, it comes with 1 peach, 1 pink, and this is the one for lighter skin tones. And I have to say, I've been liking it. So what I've been doing is actually mixing a little bit of pink and peach. Obviously, you could use it on a puff. I like to use it on a brush. And this I like specifically for brightening and kind of color correcting the under eye area. Also on top of the lids, around the nose and mouth, just to like brighten the very center. And then whatever's remaining on the cap, just take it on the little tiny puff. Literally, I mix the peach and the pink, pack it in there, and then I just press that around the side of my nose, pore zones, and it really does look good. I will say the Huda powders are a little bit on the glammy side. So because I was going for kind of like a sheer skin tint, very natural look, this powder will immediately transform that into something a little bit more glammy. So with the bright concealer and this powder, I would have probably preferred to pair it with a more full coverage foundation, just so that it looks a little bit more seamless and uniform. But I don't have a favorite full coverage foundation this time around, so I'm just using what works for me, but you get the idea. Another powder that I've really been liking, speaking of Pure, is actually also from Pure. This is their 4-in-1 pressed mineral makeup. This has SPF 15, again, also mineral. This shade Tan, is probably one of a few actual olive powders. If you are looking for a powder with a true olive undertone, this is it. And of course, if you apply with a sponge, it will be a lot more pigmented, but I like to apply it with like a really big fluffy brush like this one from Say, just so I can get rid of any remaining stickiness and kind of just blend everything in seamlessly. You see that? Also really like the One Size Boucle Silk Powder. Very, very nice, especially if you have textured skin. This is very fine and you don't have to be afraid of it. This is really great if you have enlarged pores or if you have any sort of acne scars, which I do literally in the center of my face, where I also have my pores. So it creates just a bit of a textured appearance because of that combo. But if you swirl it lightly, it will literally minimize it or minimize the appearance of it. I really, really like it. You don't need a lot, just a little bit is good enough. Oh my God, I totally forgot to mention and show you my favorite contour stick for the month. It is from LUNAR Beauty and it is incredible, but I already powdered down. So what do? I guess I'm just going to use it on top because I think the formula here is also so very forgiving. I've been using this as a bronzer. This shade Tan Sky, is like my perfect bronze contour shade. I'm just going to apply it on my forehead. My same Mario brush, just the other side. This melts so easily into the skin. So buttery, so beautiful. Absolutely does not disrupt any of my makeup underneath, nor my baby hairs, nor my glow. Such a nice product. I believe there are like 6 or 7 shades of this. So very, very impressive. And also, I don't know why I just used that brush. There's actually a brush, a Dimension brush it's called, from LUNAR Beauty. And it has this really nice, tiny, precise brush for the nose or for smaller areas. And I just cleaned mine so I can finally put it to use again. But really, really, really like this shade, really like this product. Super seamless. You can blend it out with your fingers. The shade is right. I mean, no complaints here. She's looking so cute. All right, so at this point, this is what the glow from within would look like from my Anywhere gloss in shade Twilight. This is it. But if you want to apply more, you can definitely go ahead and apply a little bit more for a spotlight effect. So I'm going to do that. I am going to blend that out with a clean finger. So it looks like none of my fingers are clean at this point. I like to kind of go really high under my eye, just like a bit of a bright pop. So nice. So nice. Okay, before I go any further, I do want to show you a close-up of what all of that looks like. Here we go. Look at that skin. Look at the side of the face. Look at the glassy glow. No stickiness. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I have a fail. I have a fail in the powder category, and it belongs to none other than Catrice. The powders that I tried in my previous video were far too heavy. They were far too chalky looking, too detectable on the skin. I don't care if they're very affordable. I don't care if there's a nice range of colors. When a powder feels so heavy that it is detectable on the skin, it emphasizes pores and texture, it is just not for me. And so this particular product was not for me. I don't know who it is actually intended for. I don't know who is a fan of very dry, chalky powders that are visible on the skin. And Catrice is a great brand. I love so many of their products, but this one was actually disappointing because I had my hopes up. I love so many of their complexion products. This one was not it. This one, like I said, it diminished my confidence. I was not loving my complexion in that last video. I was so sad about the way that it was coming out and looking. Thankfully, my eyes and the rest of my makeup kind of saved it, but that's just my story. And if you want to watch that video, you can go ahead and see what I'm talking about. But yeah, that powder was just entirely not it. One more powder I forgot to mention is this Makeup Forever HD Skin Perfecting Press Powder. This is the opposite of that Catrice powder. Drop my sponge. That's okay. Face down. It's okay. I'm going to use a brush just to show you, even though I have a lot going on, but I have to show you. This shade here is shade Light. This is a very pigmented powder. Do you see how much the brush just picked up? What's cool about it is that it has a lot of pigment. So let's say you want to chisel out your cheek, brighten it, clean up your blush or whatever. You can do that, but the powder is undetectable on the skin. It doesn't look heavy and it doesn't cause any sort of texture. So that is what I really loved. This is what a good powder is all about to me. This is what it's supposed to be like, right? Like let's say you have a little spot that you might want to highlight. You can do that. You can do that with this powder with just a little touch, you know? This is a really, really, really good product. I feel like Makeup Forever, they redeemed themselves after that concealer fiasco. At least they did in my book. Definitely not going to reach for that concealer, but I will most certainly get my hands on a few more shades of this powder because it is excellent. And though shade Light is really nice for brightening, I kind of want a shade that I can use all over. And I think that would be light medium for me at the current moment. So I'm going to need to get my hands on that. First, let me get that sponge off the floor. All right, next. I think we are up to the favorite part, the eyeshadow palettes. And this month, I did not love two products in the eye category. Number one, I did not love the new Urban Decay Cool and Warm palettes. You know, the ones with the round compass looking cream shades in the center. I just felt like the palette itself looked very gimmicky, kind of cheapy. I thought the shadows were really dry. They had absolutely very little payoff. The creams were cool, I guess, but you were supposed to use them all over the face for contour, for whatnot, but the pans themselves were just like too small for contour. I don't know. I just didn't appreciate the quality. Moreover, I thought that the palettes themselves felt very lightweight. They felt kind of like kid makeup. So I was not a fan of those. I got rid of them. I don't like to keep things around that I will never reach for. And those palettes, I promise you, I will never reach for them. That is just not my cup of tea. When things feel a little gimmicky and when there's just not enough payoff, I just tend to forget about them. But even something like this plastic on the sofa setting spray, I feel like I can still put it to use. You know, I feel like if I want a little bit of a glow and a glisten, you know, I feel if I want to look just a little bit greasy and slick back, I can use this. You know, I feel like there's a place for it. But when there's just no payoff whatsoever, there's no place for it in my arsenal. I feel very passionately about that. Next, I'm sad to say I did not love the new Smashbox eyeshadow crayons. Furthermore, I've seen a lot of ads. People praising those damn crayons. And I was excited because I saw the ads. I wanted to try out the product, and when I finally did, it was actually trash. It was actually so laughably bad. You could see how the pigment went on and came right off the moment that you tried blending it out. So to me, that is the quintessential failed product. Like, there is just no way that that could work. And the fact that people are praising it just because they are getting paid really gets under my skin, because this is not why I started this channel. This is not why I started talking about makeup, not so that I can promote products that don't work, you guys. Oh my God, I can just go on and on about this forever, but that product was one of those for me. It pissed me off so damn much. Moving on to eye palettes and eye products that I actually did enjoy. There were 3 this time, so thankfully I have some redeemers in no particular order. I absolutely did enjoy the new NATASHA DENONA Eye Sculpt Texture and Tone palettes in soft and dramatic. Very, very nice, especially the dramatic for this oil slick shade right here. That is so glorious. Honestly, that shade I talked about a lot in that video where I reviewed it, and I have been dipping for it and dipping into it ever since. These are both very nice. In fact, I believe I used the soft palette for my look for my launch party with PIXI. It lasted all night. NATASHA DENONA eyeshadows are just so trusty. They are just so damn good quality. They never fail. They're always excellent. They never dry out. They stay fresh and beautiful for years. Some palettes I've had for nearly 10 years, you guys, and they're still excellent. So I can't rave about them enough. Next, and you probably already guessed, the new DANESSA MYRICKS Lightwork. Hold on. Let me get her out. Pouch is a little tight because I really packed them in there. Lightwork Volume 7 palette. This Magnetic Beauty. 3 glorious stackable palettes. This blue is outstanding. This purple, incredible. This neutral, or a DANESSA neutral, is just so vibrant. And the fact that this palette now has mattes, I think it makes it probably one of the most covetable DANESSA MYRICKS palettes yet. It is just something that I think anyone can get good use out of it, whether you're a makeup beginner or an expert, whether you're a makeup artist or just a makeup lover. This palette is insane. It is perfection, in fact. Last but not least, again, in no particular order, I really loved the new Patrick Ta Major Dimension Essential Artistry palette. There are 3 palettes actually, and you don't necessarily need all 3. You could just choose from the light, medium, and the dark. This is the medium one, and the shades are very similar to Patrick's other longer palettes. I believe they are 12 pan palettes, but the quality of these shades is just so velvety and so buttery and so smooth that you're gonna find yourself reaching for them a lot. And I've been finding myself reaching for them constantly. In fact, some of these actually feel like liners. That's just how glidey they are. All right, so today I think I want to do, I don't even know what I want to do. Should we do a little bit of NATASHA texture and tone? Also, I want to show you just the difference. So this is a medium from Patrick Ta. This is the soft palette from NATASHA DENONA, and you can see that this one has lighter shades as well as deeper shades, medium shades, and it also has a black. So obviously this is just a little bit more limited, but all of these are skin tone. So you can absolutely carve out and shape your eye with just this if you're in the medium range. I need to figure out what I'm doing for my eye look. Should we do something subtle? Should we do something crazy? Should we do something different? I don't know. Obviously, I have reviews on all of these, so you can definitely scroll back, check it out. Today, I want to kind of go for something a little bit more dramatic. I'm going to dip into this N3 shade from NATASHA. This is an old Urban Decay brush. I'm gonna paint my entire movable lid with this pigment, kind of like that. And that's it, the look's complete. I just love NATASHA DENONA eyeshadows. They are so precise. They are so pigmented. The application is always so seamless. There's never any drag. So good, so easy to use. I'm gonna lift the corner a little bit. I'm just gonna smoke out that shade past my crease. Like that. I'm going to take a small Mario brush, E5, and I'm just going to dip into this Patrick Ta just cause it's here and this is a nice shade that's close to my skin tone. I'm going to use that to blend and soften just like that and just like that. Maybe add just a little bit on the bottom like that. Again, adding some to the bottom. And now I'm going to go for this shade, Oil Slick, purpley black. I think I'm going to actually pick that up on a brush and I'm going to add that to my center lid, but very, very close to the lash line, almost from the lash line upwards, just like that. This is a nice creamy shade. I want to add it softly, just so you really see a subtle sparkle and a little bit of darkening of the lid, but not too much to the point that it's black. If I were to pick it up with my finger, I would have to stamp it and then it would have a much more impactful sort of punch. I don't want that because I want to layer other shadows. And so that's why I picked that up on a brush, making sure there's no fallout. There actually absolutely is not, but we're just making sure. And now I'm going to reach for my Lightwork Volume 7. So this shadow right here, to the naked eye, it looks purple. And the more I turn it, the more it actually looks green. But the more I turn it away, it starts looking purple again. So these are multi-chromes, similar with these. I think I'm going to go for this green purple shade. This one I actually am going to pick up on my finger because for this, I want maximum impact. Adding that to the center. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is like actually insane how pretty that is. It is so pretty. It is such a unique, pretty green. It almost looks like a brown with all the different brown eyeshadows and with that slick black shade underneath. It's such a chameleon of a shade. Oh my God. This is why I love DANESSA MYRICKS eyeshadows because they really do transform like no other. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to pick up this new CoverGirl X Stranger Things eyeliner. I was totally shitting on them in my last video until I actually tried them and was like, wow, this is phenomenally good. So needless to say, it is a fave this month. The shade that I'm using now is shade For Eddie. Oh, For Eddie. And basically it's a black with a silver sparkle, but not a glitter, just like a silver reflect. Is it me or do you find that shows take far too long to come back to Netflix? Or whatever network, doesn't even have to be Netflix, any network. They take so long that I actually lose the plot. I forget where we left off. And even those little recaps that they do don't do anything for me. I feel like I'm so lost. When I finally watch the first episode back, I have to like mentally get into it and almost like concentrate like the way that I used to do in school. Like it almost feels like I'm working. This product is so good that it didn't even require my concentration. It is so glidey. It is so smooth. It is excellent. Basically, I used it to line my waterline and then just extend the outer top lash line. And now I'm just using this PIXI definer brush to kind of pull the liner out just like that. So good. So good. I'm going to go back to the PIXI liner. Just going to dip into neutral brown shadow from Patrick Ta. I'm going to add a little bit of that right underneath, just to provide a little bit of a border between the liner and my concealer, my powder, my under eye. When I get to this step is when I usually know that my makeup look is coming to an end. It is coming to its completion. So now it's time for the rest of the products, which by the way are all in the faves category. For mascara, I'm going to be using this KOSAS Soulgazer Mascara, which I really did like, but I feel like I didn't give it enough tries. So today I'm going to give it a try. I can't exactly say that it's a favorite because like I said, I haven't tried it enough, but the couple times I did wear it, I enjoyed it. Very nice, very precise. This is a nice defining mascara, but also it feels very inky. So it's good at coating every single one of your lashes. And now that my lashes are back to growing out in their natural state, meaning I no longer use any lash serums to grow them out, they're soon going to be back to being my short little soldiers. That's okay. But I feel like mascaras like this are really good for tiny little Asian lashes like mine, or like mine naturally are. I'm gonna add a little bit to the bottom. I feel like the eyes are really smoldering. It's exactly what I wanted to go for. It's not a big, giant, smoky eye, but it's definitely very distinct. It is very in your face. Is very smoldering, but it's nothing too dramatic. It's almost like an approachable kind of smoky eye. Do you agree? Or do you not agree? Also, I totally forgot. I've been loving these Patrick Ta Major Dimension Duos. These are very sparkly shadows. You remember the duos from last year? These are just new additions, new shades, if you will. I've been liking these for the sparkle. This one right here, Always on Your Mind, is a really nice kind of taupey gunmetal shade. I'm going to add just the slightest amount of that just to the center for a little bit of that wet effect. I would say these are different from everything else. DANESSA MYRICKS doesn't really have sparkly eyeshadows like this, at least not in this palette, because these are a little bit more of multi-chrome, duochrome, triochrome type of eyeshadows when talking specifically about the metallics and not the mattes. Natasha Denona definitely has metallics, variations on them, very soft satiny shades in the other palette. But this one, this very unique suspended sparkle in a translucent kind of base is very, very cool. It's a little bit harder to find nowadays. So I really do appreciate these because they are very standout. Okay, next, I have a bunch of favorites in the lip liner category from Morphe, from Milani, from Rimmel. All of these are inexpensive. All of these are in the nudes. I really like the Milani plumping lip liners. They don't actually plump the way that the Too Faced ones do, but the shades are really, really nice, very wearable, very natural looking shades, very trendy looking shades, especially for that 90s lip, for that like 2000s type of ombre, and also all the current trends. I really, really love the Rimmel Lasting Finish Lip Liner crayons. Especially, I love shade 90s Nude. This one is just perfection. In fact, I think I'm going to use this one today, and I'm going to pair it with my lippy, but I did just want to show you the Morphe ones. I've been using these a lot. Actually, I think this whole collection from Morphe, the lipsticks and the lip liners are excellent quality, such great shades. But like I said, I need to give Rimmel some love. This 90s Nude is perfect. Right now on my lips, I have some remainder of the stain from Huda Beauty. This 90s Nude definitely reminds me of Max Spice, but it's a little bit less spicy and a little bit more browny. So a little bit less specific, but the quality of this pencil is unmatched. It is made in Italy and it is so good. So now on to my favorite lippy of the month. Of course, because they just launched, my favorite goes to my PIXI collab. I love the red, and I will pop up a picture of me wearing the Fiesta red. And of course, if you want to see me apply it in different ways, you can watch my review video. But for this video, I am going to go with Siesta Peach. I haven't actually tried it with the Rimmel 90s Nude. I'm going to give it a second to dry. Basically, you can apply this full-on swipe like a liquid lipstick. It will dry matte, non-transferable, but not as dry as back in 2016. I'm going to remind you. But because the formula here is a little bit more whipped, it's more like a souffle, it is a lot more flexible, so you can do a lot more with it. So here we go. This is the look. This is the vibe. What do we think? I would tell you what I think, but I think I told you enough. I think it's time for me to call the swatch model, really ask for his opinion. Oh, swatch model, we really appreciate your opinion here on the channel. I've been getting a lot of commentary that people are liking what you have to say. So let's hear it. What do you have to say about my look?
You look like plastic on the couch again.
You're lying. This is not a moment for jokes. This is a moment for the truth.
I actually like the way you look very sweet, innocent.
Innocent with my smoky eye?
Yeah, because it's not a full-on fire going on. It's just like a nice, sultry, shadowy, smoky eye. It isn't full-on, burn the house down. I actually like it.
Where would you take me with this look?
I think it's super versatile. In my opinion, you can go to a family outing, you can go to a night out. I think it's transformative. I think it's a perfect day to night kind of look because it does have parts of it that are really balanced and approachable, but other parts that are really like, I'm a badass, hot chick.
Ooh, imagine this with a nice oversized crop leather MC.
Yeah, you can do it all. But I can see like you wearing it right now, like a nice t-shirt, cute, it's actually a really nice look. What's your foundation?
It is why do you want to know my foundation? You are so confusing. What guy actually asks for, what is your foundation? Like so serious.
Well, because it blends well with your neck. I think a lot of times still the basic mistake a lot of women make is the, demarcation line blending into the neck, color matching, like, even if you want to go a shade darker or lighter, it still can't run away from your neck. Color, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
So I just like the way it looks. I like the way the face matches the neck.
I see. This is the Pure 4-in-1 Skin Tint and also the LUNAR Beauty Bronze Stick.
I like the blush too, even.
Well, the blush is my lippy. Actually, two different blushes, yes, but they're very similar shades.
I love it. It's not like it's noticed me without like forcing me to notice, that's what I love about it. I think it adds the sophistication to the look. I hate when blush looks like a doll.
My God, you finally love a blush, and it just happens to be.
Yeah, because it's something about it. It just looks really sophisticated. It looks nice. It doesn't look like somebody slapped you across the face. You know what I mean? It's really nice.
I think on that note, I'm going to thank you for your participation. Can we see Bowie? Bowie in the cam. Bowie in the cam. Bowie's so confused.
But first,
Juicy. What do you think of my makeup? Juicy. You enjoying yourself?
He's like so used to this. He's just like, okay.
He's ready. All right, buddy. Anyways, this is Bowie. I love the Well, okay, this is my Bowie. Thank you so much for watching and for sticking here on this fabulous Faves X Fails. Thank you, Bowie. I will see you guys in the next one. I had a lot of fun filming this video, and I'm just really excited about all this makeup newness, about all of these faves that we've got going on. So I hope you found this video useful. I hope you found and discovered some new products that you may have overlooked before. Maybe perhaps this video has saved you some coin on some products that you may not want to be wasting your time or money on. So with that, I'm going to say farewell. Peace out, you guys. I'm out. I will see you in the next one. More videos over here. Deuces.